Jump into page 43 in grammar, page 43. 43. And you do need a post-it note today, so hopefully you guys have post-its in your packet of stuff. Remember that needs to stay with your writing class stuff because we use a lot of different tools. So if you have post-its, good. I see that. Stick it upside down. So the sticky part is on the page and the loose part is up like this, okay? So make sure that's the side that you write the word prepositions on because it's going to go like this, okay? We're going to put it at the top of the page. So make sure you write prepositions at the top of your post-it note. If you don't have a post-it note, you can do this part later after class if you need to. Prepositions, has anybody ever heard of that word before? Prepositions? No? Okay. They're actually words that we have in our language, English language, and they're an important part of our sentences that we use, and you use them already. You just haven't known what they're called. But after you write that down, I'm going to move this down so I can read this here. So a preposition starts a phrase. It's a group, it's part of a group of words that shows the relationship between a noun or a pronoun and another word in the sentence. So it says a prepositional phrase always begins with a preposition. And you're going to see at the bottom of your page a big list. Guys, see that down there? These are the prepositions. That's what these are. They're called prepositions. You know how we have nouns and verbs and adjectives? These are called prepositions. Yes, Declan.
Apparently, I don't have my grammar with me right now.
Uh-oh. Well, um,
Yeah, I don't have my grammar.
you want to look in the other room for it? You should keep it together in the same spot, okay? Try to keep it in the same spot next time. Oh, okay, you
Okay,
got it coming. Okay,
Reagan is
cool.
coming with it.
She's saving the day. Okay, here's your list at the bottom here. And it says a prepositional phrase always begins with a preposition and ends with a noun or a pronoun. The phrase may have adjectives in between, but never a verb. So these phrases don't have verbs. Good, you got it. We're on page 43. And then it talks about the noun or pronoun that ends the prepositional phrase is called the object of the preposition. When the object of the preposition is a pronoun, it will be one of the objective case pronouns. It'll be one of these: me, you, him, her, it, us, them. Those are called objective pronouns. That's part of a prepositional phrase. So don't worry if you still don't know what that means yet, because we're gonna have lots of practice with it. So go ahead and stick your post-it so it sticks out over the top like that with the word prepositions on it over the top. It's okay if it covers up some words because we already read that. Okay. Look where it says memorize it. It says preposition plus noun, no verb. So use the list below to find the prepositions in the sentence. Once you find the preposition, ask what to identify the noun or pronoun that ends the prepositional phrase. And then you're going to underline it. So jump down here to this example right here. It says, after breakfast, the soldier with the magical brass horn walked over the bridge. Okay, the first one says it's underlined. After breakfast. Look for the word after in the list below. Give me a thumbs up if you can find the word after in this list. It should be on your page, page 43. You see after? Okay, Eris has a thumbs up. Declan. It's in that first column right here. That means it's a preposition. And then if you ask yourself, I see that, Joanna, after what? After breakfast. So that's the phrase. It's just two words. Okay. How about the word with? See if you can find the word with in the list below. Do you see with? It's in alphabetical order. Good. Trevor sees it. Good. And Sydney and Eris, good. Right down here, the word with, that's a preposition. That's what it starts with. And then you ask with what? With the magical brass horn. That's the whole phrase. Last one says over. See if you can find the word over in your list. Give me a thumbs up if you find it. Good. Eris found it. Good. Sydney. Over. Starts with an O. Good. Over. Good. Over. The O's are kind of down here and then this column. I see it right here. So then asking yourself over what? Over the bridge. That's the whole phrase. So that's how you're going to mark it in this book. That's why you need this page. So when you're doing homework by yourself later, you're going to see the word prepositional phrase, those words, on your checklist. So you can come back and use this page to help you. Okay, let's jump to the actual practice page now on page 45. And then I'm going to have Trevor go ahead and read the sentence today.
At the end of the summer, they took their three gifts with them and visited a neighboring
King, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Neighboring king. Good. Neighboring is the vocabulary word. If I cover up the ing, I see neighbor. What do you think neighboring means, Declan? What do you think neighboring means?
I think it means like next to
Yes,
or
like
nearby.
nearby. Very good. I like that too. So neighboring king, it tells what kind of king it is. So this is going to be an adjective. I'll just give you that clue, okay? But let's check vocabulary because we got that. Neighboring king. He lives nearby. Three articles. Go ahead and find those by yourself. And then we've got four nouns. So Weston, how about the four nouns?
King?
Did you say him?
No, I said king.
Oh, king. Yes, sorry. I didn't hear that. King, yes, that's a noun.
Summer?
Summer, yep.
Gifts?
Yep. One more.
Neighborly?
That's going to actually be an adjective. So look at the article the here. Anytime you see an article, you know that a noun is coming.
Yeah.
What do you think would be the noun that goes with this article? The
And?
Yes, end is actually a noun because of that article, the end. So it makes it a thing, right? Okay, the end. So end, summer, gifts, and king. How about the pronouns, Joanna?
Yeah.
Okay. And there's a word we need to fix in here. You guys probably saw that. I meant to do that first, but I forgot. But we need to fix one of them. It's the homophone.
Um, them,
Oh, them. Okay, yes, that's one.
they.
And they. Very good. And then there's this word here, Eris, there. This actually means they are. And that doesn't work in this sentence because it would say, took they are three gifts. That doesn't make sense. So how can we spell that? That's a homophone. So Eris, do you know how to spell there?
Uh,
Remember how to
spell.
spell? The one that means like
Oh,
belongs to them.
There.
You're close. It's actually EIR. Remember, the ERE is like over there. But if you're talking about people, it's EIR. Okay, but we got our two pronouns. What about, so Eris, what about the adjectives? Those are the good words that are going to tell whose or what kind or how many, words that tell about the nouns. So like if you look at king, what king was it? What kind of king was it? Look right before that. This is for you, Eris.
So what is it?
Do you know this word?
Yes.
Go ahead and say it.
Neighborhood.
Neighboring. Yeah, neighboring. That tells what kind of king. So that is the adjective, right? How about how many gifts were there? That's for Eris too. How many gifts? So that's going to be another adjective.
3.
3. So that's an adjective. And whose gifts are they? That's another adjective. Whose 3 gifts are they? You got this.
Let me write this down quick.
So 3 tells how many gifts, but then whose are they? I see your hands there. Hang on, let's see if she can get this.
The kings.
No, because the king is later. So look right before the word 3. This one that you fixed.
There.
Yes. So that means if they're their gifts, their 3 gifts, it means the gifts belong to them. Does that make sense, Eris?
Or the gifts belong to the knight.
Yes, true. But in the sentence, we're looking for the word that represents that. Okay. You're right. So it's their gifts. So that's why that's an adjective. All right. Good job, Eris. How about Sydney? What about the prepositional phrases? I can help you with that.
The prepositional phrases. I think the prepositional phrases.
Here's a clue. Let me help you while you're thinking there. If it already has a label on it, it's not going to be one of those. So look for words that don't have a label yet on
What
top.
about at?
Good. So check that list on that we marked on the other page. See if you see the word at on there. We're going to check it. You got it. Okay, so now ask yourself at what?
The end of summer.
Yes, but it's just going to go to at the end because it's going to stop on the first noun. Okay, so at the end, you're right. That's the whole phrase. So underline that part. Here's the word of. Of does not have a label. Check to see if of is on that list. This is how you guys are going to do your homework, okay? Look at what's left and then check the list. Oh, she gave me a thumbs up, so she sees it. So of what?
Of the summer.
There you go. That's the other prepositional phrase. There's 2 in a row. There's the word took. For the sake of time, I'll tell you took is a verb. It's not going to be on that list, okay? The next one is with. See, and we know with is on there because we looked at that earlier, right?
Yeah.
So with who?
With them.
With them. See how we did that? That's how you guys are going to find your prepositional phrases. Save them for the end of your list. Look at what letters or, I mean, what words are left. Check the list and then ask what. And then that'll help you find the prepositional phrase. So at the end is one. Of the summer with them. Good job, you guys. And then one capital, we could do that. End mark is a period. We already fixed the homophone, which was there, and we're done. So your list is getting a little longer. Your grammar work's going to get a little harder and harder, but you're ready for this, okay? Take your time doing your homework and make sure you read your sentence out loud before you start marking stuff. Any questions about grammar today before we go on? I see Declan says no. If you don't have any questions, just shake your head no for me. Okay, I see that. Okay, I know that you guys worked on fixing your camel paper last week, but we're going to move on. We're not going to have time to actually share your report today. We're going to move on because this next lesson is going to be new to you. So you should have, from the week before, you should have your story sequence chart set up and ready to go. So go ahead and get out King Midas. We haven't read the story yet. And I'm just going to set mine up so it looks like yours, okay? And it should have Roman numeral 1. Let me set mine up really quick here. What do you guys have in your first box here on the left? Who can tell me what it says in your first box here on this side? You guys have something written in here on yours? Declan, do you have yours? What does it say on your paper? Do you have it?
Me?
Yes. Do you guys have this part? I'm worried. You guys look like you're lost.
I do.
Oh, good. What do you have, Sydney, right here?
Right there, I have creators, setting, and who, question mark, where, question mark.
Okay, so you've got characters and setting. Who and where. You guys should have this on your paper. What do you have, Trevor, right here in the next box down? What does yours say?
Conflict and
Conflict,
problem.
problem. And what's the question? What's the question word here?
What?
Good. And then, Declan, did you find yours? What's in the last box?
Wait, are we only supposed to have 3 pages?
Um, okay, only 3 pages about, yes, about King Midas, but do you have this page too that you filled out? That we did this last time. I hope you didn't lose it.
Really?
Yes. You don't remember this? This one says climax resolution. You're gonna have to fill this in later, Declan. I think you're missing yours.
Okay.
Do you guys have a little mountain down here with a guy on top? Give me a thumbs up if you have this down here. Good. Everybody else seems to. Weston, what is on either side of this mountain? What did we draw in here?
One side is Spike and the other one is a fluffy cloud.
Spike and cloud. And then we've got some arrows going down like this, and we've got him wobbling at the top here. All right, so Declan, we did this, and I'm recording today, but we did this 2 weeks ago. So hopefully you didn't lose it, but you should have this ready to go. It should look just like this. Okay, that's what you should have. The next step is reading the story about King Midas, and then we're going to fill this in using our notes over here. So, we talked a little bit about Kung Fu Panda. Remember when we talked about that, where in the story, they introduce the characters and setting in the beginning, and then the conflict is when Po is in an epic battle with Tai Lung, right? That's the conflict. And then the climax is when we don't know if Poe's going to die, and then he remembers, oh my gosh, I'm the special one. I know the wushu pinky hold, and he goes skadoosh, and then everything is solved. That's a really quick summary of that. So we're going to learn about King Midas. So let's get out the story next. This is not an Aesop fable. However, it is a story that teaches us a lesson. Okay, so we're going to learn a lesson from King Midas. So let's read it next, okay? And then we're going to start filling out the chart. So this is page 49. It should be in your front pocket. All your stuff for King Midas should be in your front pocket. That's where you keep it. Give me a thumbs up if you got it in front of you. Good. Okay. Good. I'm going to read it. You be thinking about what can we learn from King Midas. There once lived a wealthy king named Midas, who lived in comfort and luxury, but still had a great desire for gold. His house was decorated with gold, and every day he wore fine golden jewelry. The king had but one thought: how to get more gold. Sadly, even with all the wealth he had, King Midas was not happy. The more gold he had, the more gold he wanted. Then one day, a strange visitor granted King Midas the gift of one wish. May anything I touch turn to gold, he declared. It was granted. Everything he touched did become gold. A table, a chair, the rug, even his bed. But flowers lost their color and smell. Food became inedible. Midas began to worry. And when his beloved little daughter came to him to give him a hug and turned into a statue of solid gold before his eyes, oh no! How deeply he regretted that horrible wish he had made. King Midas was desperate to be rid of his golden touch. He repented of his greed. The strange visitor returned. Turn it over to the back here. And had mercy on him. Wash your hands in the river Pactolus, he ordered. King Midas raced to the river. He saw gold light flowing from his hands into the water. Then he picked up a rock, and it remained a rock. The golden touch was gone. To his delight, when he returned home, everything was normal again. His daughter was running and laughing, and his food was hot and tasty. From that day on, King Midas was never greedy, but always grateful for the beauty he saw in everything around him. He became a generous king, loved by all his people. And there he is with his daughter, and they're happy. Okay, there we go. So what can we learn from King Midas? Who wants to share what life lesson can we learn from King Midas? Yes, Declan.
Don't be greedy.
Don't be greedy. Sydney, do you have anything to add to that?
And don't make wishes are that could be dangerous.
That's a good one. Maybe think ahead about it. Like, don't just do something crazy without thinking about it. Yeah, that could be dangerous. What about any other thoughts, Weston? What's another thing we can learn from King Midas?
Wish what you desire.
Say that one more time.
Don't wish what you want. Wish what you need.
Oh, that's a good one too. Don't wish what you want, wish what you need. And maybe another one could be like, just be thankful for what you have. I mean, the guy already had a bunch of gold, right? And he had a nice castle and he had lots of money. Be thankful for what you have, right? It's another good one. All right. There was a word in here. Have you guys ever heard the word repented before? Does anybody know what repented means? If you know the Bible, it's in the Bible. And it's about, turning away from your sin, basically, is what repented means. It means you recognize it's a sin, and you decide you're not going to do it anymore. And so that's basically what happened to King Midas, right? He knew he was greedy. He said he repented of his greed. He didn't want to be greedy anymore. So he said, I'm not going to be greedy anymore. I'm going to turn away from that. That's what repented means. And he regretted his wish. He wished he didn't ever make that wish. Okay.
Just like you turn away from sin, you repent
Yes.
to God.
Yes, exactly. You repent to God. That's right. And he forgives you. Okay. Now, as we're filling out this chart here, you're going to keep this in front of you also. We're going to think about the characters and setting just for Roman numeral 1 here. That's what we're going to focus on. And instead of looking at every sentence in the story, we're going to think about the concept of characters and setting. So I'm going to start with Joanna. Who is the first character that you learn about in this story? Who's the first character?
King Midas.
King Midas, that's kind of an easy one, right? Let's make sure you write it next to Roman numeral 1. Make sure it's right there next to Roman numeral 1. King, and we're going to capitalize it because that's his name, King Midas. And I'm going to still use the same rules as we've been doing. So the rules are you can use 3 words only, and then you have pictures or symbols and numbers and abbreviations. Those are free. Just like we've been doing for our keyword outline, same rules here. Okay, so we have King Midas. And then Joanna, what's one word at the beginning of the story? What's a word you would describe?
Wait a minute.
Say it again.
It was me.
Oh,
Couldn't King Midas be 2 words, not just one?
yes, it is 2 words. You're right about that. If we needed to add more, you could count King Midas as one name because that's his name. It's like Declan Kitterman. It's 2
Okay.
words, but it's one. We're going to count it as one. So, yeah. So Joanna, what's a word you would use to describe King Midas in the beginning of the story?
Was greedy?
Greedy?
The
Yeah.
greedy King Midas?
Greedy King Midas. Yep. You could use greedy. You could use wealthy. You could use rich. Whatever you guys want to put here. I'm going to put greedy. I kind of like that one as far as it's a good descriptive word telling about King Midas. And then for Weston, what was it that he had a lot of already in his house?
Gold.
Lots of gold. And what were some things that were already gold before his wish?
Pretty much everything.
Yeah, it said that his house was decorated in gold and that he had golden jewelry too. So he had lots of things gold already. Um, I forgot something up here though, because if we count King Midas as one word, like Declan was saying, we can have space for one more word here. I know we're running out of room. And let me go back to Joanna on this. Where are they in this story? Where is King Midas? This is for Joanna.
At his house?
At his house. What's another word for like a king's house?
Mansion?
Mansion,
Castle?
castle. I like castle, but if you want to put mansion, you can put mansion here. But we do want to focus on the setting, so we need to make sure to include where they are. So we've got one of the characters is King Midas. He's greedy. He lives in a castle. And then, as Weston said, his castle is, hold on. Let's put the word gold here. Gold, and then he had decorations and jewelry, we decided. So I put gold, decorations, and jewelry. So notice that we're not looking at every sentence anymore right now. We're thinking about, okay, how can we describe this as we're writing this story? How can we describe it so it's like a visual for the person reading your paper? You guys got that? Gold, decorations, jewelry. And then the next question is for Trevor. Was he happy in the beginning with all of his gold decorations and his jewelry and everything? Was he happy with all that?
No.
No. So what is a word to describe that he was not happy? How could we say that?
Unhappy
I like it. He was still unhappy. And why was he unhappy, Trevor?
because he wanted more gold.
Wanted, so let's put that. Wanted more, and I'm going to put exclamation point. And I know we're talking about gold because we just mentioned it here. So we know he's talking about more gold. So for number 2, we got unhappy. I'll zoom in so you guys can see that a little better. Unhappy, wanted more. We're still in that first box, which means we're still in the first paragraph. And remember, the goal of the first paragraph is to introduce the characters and the setting. So far, we have King Midas and the castle, and then some more information about that. But there's one more character that comes in at the beginning, not the daughter. She comes in later. Who's the other character? This question's for Sydney. Who is the other character that we learn about toward the beginning of the story?
I think his name was, well, that we called him by was, I mean,
I'll give you
it's
clues.
Strange Vision.
There you go. Strange visitor. Yes. And we don't know who the strange visitor is, but that's how they refer to him in the story. So let's put that strange and then visitor. And then
Did we like give him a name?
not in this story. Let's just keep it the same for this story. Later, when we start
Okay.
making up your own, yes, then you can, but not for this one. So what does the strange visitor say, Sydney?
That you can make one wish.
He can make one wish. So I'm going to put a number 1 and then the word wish, and I'm going to put it in quotes. Okay. So I can use that number 1. That's free because it's a number. So I got strange, visitor, and then in quotes, one wish. That means that's what he says. He's granting a wish, right? Okay. You guys are doing great. So far we got our characters and setting. We have it ready to go now. And now we're going to enter into the conflict and it's more of a problem in this story. Like Kung Fu Panda is more like a conflict because they're in a battle, right? But this is really King Midas's problem. So we're going to focus on his problem next. So the strange visitor comes. He says, "You are granted one wish." And then Eris, what is the wish that King Midas asks for?
May everything I touch turn gold.
May anything I touch turn to gold. Yes. So we can put that in quotes here. This is his wish. Anything touch gold. That is his wish. Anything touch gold. If you want to use a word like everything instead of anything, or if you want to use the word whatever touch gold, you pick the word you want to use to basically show that everything he touches, he wants to turn to gold. So he got his wish. It was granted. That's what he asked for, and it was granted. And then, Declan, what were the first things that started to turn gold after he got his wish? What started to turn gold after that? Look back on the story.
A table,
Table, good.
a chair,
Chair, good.
the rug,
And the rug, good.
and even his bed.
Even his bed. All right, so after the word table, I'm going to put a happy face. I'm going to squeeze one in right here because I think he was happy that his table was gold. He probably is like, cool, yes, all right, I got a golden table. It's just what I wanted, right? I think he liked the chair. I'm going to put a happy face by chair because I think he's like, cool, a matching golden chair for my table. This is awesome. I love it. The rug, I think he might have liked the rug.
He probably did like the table.
I think so too. And probably the rug. But what about, we're going to draw a bed here. I'm just going to draw a bed.
Probably not. Probably not the rug because it wouldn't be soft anymore.
Maybe I'll do a straight face for the rug. Maybe he's like, well, it's kind of cool looking, but I don't know. It's not really soft on my feet. And then draw a little bed here. And then what do you think he thinks about the bed being gold? It's probably pretty, but would you like to sleep on a golden bed? Not, especially not in the
No,
wintertime.
not me.
That would be like a rock, right? That'd be super hard and cold.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna put a
And also, you wouldn't be able to pull up the covers.
yeah, exactly. Good point. No covers. You're cold on cold metal. So here's what I got. I got a table, happy face, chair, happy face, rug, straight face, bed, sad face. Like, I think by then he's starting to go, uh-oh. Because after that, Weston, what else turned to gold? After the rug and the bed and everything, what else turned to gold?
His daughter.
Before the daughter,
Oh, his food.
his food, and it says
Flowers.
flowers. Yes. So let's put flowers. I don't think he liked that. He said they lost their smell. And then what if we did smell and then we circle it and draw a line through it like this? That means there's no smell. See how I did that? That's a way you can do that on your outline as a symbol. Let me zoom in so you can see that. I put smell and then I circled it and drew a line through it to tell no smell. And then food. And that's definitely a sad face. So we're getting into the problem here, okay? This is the problem box. At first, he's like, yes, everything I touch is turning to gold. Yes, I'm the best. This is awesome. My table, yes. My chair, yes. My rug, I don't know. And then my bed, uh-oh, no, I don't think so. And then flowers, no. And then food, no. Okay, we're getting into the biggest problem of all, Joanna. What's the biggest problem of all that he has?
And his daughter.
His daughter. What happened to his daughter?
She tried to hug him, but she turned into gold.
What did she turn into?
Gold.
Like a statue, right? I'm going to put statue. It kind of reminds me of Narnia, of the first one, Chronicles of Narnia, the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Remember when Tumnus turned into stone? It reminds me of that. It's like instantly he turned into stone, but she turned into gold. And he's like, I'm going to put quotes here. No, with a bunch of O's. No, not my daughter. Oh no. That's his problem. And this takes us into the climax. Okay, so let me zoom out so you can see what I'm doing here. This is the climax down here. So this side would represent her staying a statue forever, right? It's tragedy. This side would represent that she comes back to life, which we know she does, and she's okay. So that's why this is called the climax. We don't know if she's going to be a statue forever or be cured from the wish and come back to life. That's the climax. When you first read the story for the first time in your life, you might be like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Is she going to be okay? So moving on from here, let's see, it's Trevor's turn now. So the daughter's a solid gold statue. And then at the end of that paragraph, after she turns into a statue, how does he feel right here? Right after the statue thing.
He deeply regretted it.
He deeply regretted it. And hey, we need an ly adverb, so we might as well use deeply in our outline, then we know to use it later and underline it, right? That's part of our dress up word. So let's put that deeply regretted. What should we put next? Wish. That makes sense. Deeply regretted wish. And you know that's King Midas that deeply regrets it. So make sure you mention that when you write that part. All right. After that, Sydney, he's regretting it now. He feels terrible. He was desperate to get rid of the golden touch. And then who comes back?
The stranger comes back.
The stranger. So is there another word we could use instead of strange? Because we already used strange here. Instead of strange visitor, what could we
The
call him?
visitor.
Say it again?
The visitor.
Yeah, we need another word before that. What's another way to say strange visitor, something visitor? Does anybody have any ideas on that? I have a word in mind and I'm trying to see how if you can think of it. Because he's kind of like magical, right? This visitor's got
The magic visitor.
the magic visitor. That would work. Or I was thinking maybe mysterious. That'd be kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
You guys pick what word you want to use. You could put magical, visitor, or mysterious. I kind of like mysterious, but either way.
Same.
Okay, mysterious and visitor. Again, he's back. And what does he say to do, Sydney?
Yeah, I just wrote that down real quick.
Mysterious visitor comes back and then he says something when you're ready.
Um, he says to wash his hands in the river.
Yes, he does. So let's put wash and let's put it in quotes here and maybe draw a hand. And that river was called the River Pactolus, right? So he ran, it says he raced to the river. I like that. He raced. That means he went as fast as he could to the river Pactolus. And then I'm going to do like a squiggly line like this and an arrow like the that's just showing the gold came out of his hands. Okay, so he raced to the river Pactolus and the light came out of his hands, right? This is a pretend story, obviously. It's a fiction, not real. After the gold came out of his hands, Eris, um, what happened? What did he do? He picked up something, and what happened?
He picked up a rock and it didn't turn gold.
And it didn't turn gold. And it said everything went back to, what was the word they used?
Everything went back to normal.
Normal. Very good. So we could put rock, normal, and maybe especially the daughter. I'm going to put a heart and daughter. So when you write that sentence, you could say the rock and his daughter, everything was back to normal, the way it was supposed to be. But we're not quite done yet because there's one more thing. This is like the resolution part of the story. This is where we learn a lesson, right? So if you have space, you should have space here. Write a number 4 because we need one more sentence. And I'm going to let you guys volunteer on this one. Who can tell me what can we put here for number 4 to tell about King Midas? He's a changed man, right? He's different than he was in the beginning. Beginning, he's greedy, he wants more gold, blah, blah, blah.
Became generous. No, generous king loved people.
That's a good one. Generous king loved people. You do a heart for loved people. Anybody else have any ideas? How can we tell like the lesson here for number 4? There's grateful. That's one of the words they use at the end. Any other ideas on the lesson, like generous, grateful, maybe never, he was grateful for the beauty he saw
Kind.
and everything. Okay, Sydney, you got an idea?
Kind.
Kind, yep, we could use the word kind.
Um,
Weston, you got an idea? I thought I saw your hand. No? Okay. So let's kind of combine those. I'm going to put generous. I don't think I spelled that right. It's ER. Generous, kind. I like that word too. And then I'm going to put a heart and people. He was loved by his people. And by the way, I'm going to put KM right here because that's who we're talking about, right? We can circle it in our title to help us remember KM. That's King Midas. So King Midas, draw a little arrow right there so I can remember that. He became generous and kind and loved by all his people. Good job, you guys. I know that was new for you. You're going to get so quick at this after we keep practicing this for a while. You're going to really know how to do this pretty much by yourself, but you guys did great taking turns filling this in. So now we've got our first paragraph is going to be all about King Midas, the characters, and the setting. The second paragraph is going to be about the problem he has, which is when he gets his wish, everything turns to gold. It's great at first, and then it goes bad. And then at the last paragraph, the third paragraph, sorry, that's going to be about the climax and the resolution, like how he resolves his problem, how he solves it. Okay, one thing I want to talk to you guys about is how to write paragraphs. Okay. Some of you are still putting like each line of your keyword outline, you're just going like one line, period, and then one line, period. Now, a paragraph keeps going. So let me show you an example. Let me pull it up really quick here of what I'm talking about. And I know most of you are handwriting your papers still, and that's okay. Hold on, let me pull this up really quick. Here. I'm going to show you an example with the camel paper of what I'm looking for. Hang on just a second.
What about the KWO? Where's that?
This is the KWO. It's called a story sequence chart because of how we set it
Oh,
up. But you see
okay.
in your story sequence chart, let me share that first. See how we have Roman numeral 1? Remember, that's a paragraph. This whole
Yeah.
box is one paragraph. So this is your keyword outline, your KWO. But we're calling it story sequence chart because it's a chart and it's showing how to retell a story. Does that make sense, Declan? Okay. And let me share this. This is somebody else's paper from a different class. But I wanted to show you what it looks like. She hand wrote it. Oops. Oh, shoot, that's not what I wanted. Make this full. There we go. Okay, so she forgot to indent right here, but I wanted you to see how here's her first sentence about camels, and you see the period. She keeps going and then loops back over here to the red line and then finishes her sentence here. Here's a period. And then she starts her next sentence right after that. I know she's got some things that she, or actually it's he, it's Eli. Sorry, I didn't look at the name. So Eli. Um, he is continuing to connect his sentences together, and then he gets to the last sentence. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Right here. And then it says 1,000 Bactrian camels remain, period. That's the end of his first paragraph. And then he moves down, skips a line, indents. I don't know why that one is there. Just ignore that. And then he starts his second paragraph. And see how the sentences are connected? So it's one chunk. I want to make sure you guys do that when you write your paragraphs. Put it together in one chunk. Let me check this one and see if this one, if she did it here too. This is somebody different. Oops, that's the grammar page. Okay. That's all I have as far as examples. But do you guys have any questions about that? What I mean by writing the paragraph together. You're going to make the sentences flow together. And then when you're done with the first paragraph, move down, indent, leave a space, and start your next paragraph. So looking at your story sequence chart, your first paragraph is going to say something like this. And you're going to indent when you start. You're going to say, one day, there was a greedy king named King Midas who lived in a castle. He had golden decorations and he wore gold jewelry. King Midas was unhappy because he wanted more gold. One day, a strange visitor granted him one wish. And then that's the first paragraph. And then you move down, skip a line, go down, indent. King Midas wished that anything he touched would turn to gold. See what I mean? And then you're going to keep going on to the next sentence. Each one of these is a sentence, but you're going to connect them into a paragraph. Do you guys have any questions about what I'm talking about right now? Like how to connect it into a paragraph? Because some of you are not doing that yet. So I'll put a note in your Google Classroom. If you're not doing it, I'll say, okay, you need to do this. Make sure you put each sentence after the sentence before. Last thing to look at before you go is the checklist. Now, you saw the video last week about the which clause, right? You were writing about camels and you use which because you're talking about an animal. Today, this week, you're talking about King Midas. You can use who, like King Midas who was greedy. That would work. King Midas who lived in a castle. King Midas who loved his daughter. You see what I mean? You're going to use who. Notice it's on here too. And some of you probably have never written 3 paragraphs before, but you got this. You can do this. You're ready for this. 3 paragraphs. You got this. They're not long. There's just 3 of them. Okay? You're ready for it. This is a story, a 3-paragraph story. So make sure you have who or which in each paragraph. See how there's 3 boxes right here? You also need an ly adverb, one of those in each paragraph. So it could be, what's a good example of an ly adverb? He anxiously waited for the gold to come out of his hands or something like that. Or he desperately wanted the gold to get rid of the golden touch. Desperately, that's another good ly. He desperately wanted to get rid of the golden touch. Guys have any other ideas of an ly for this story? He greedily asked for everything he touched to turn to gold. Selfishly, that's a good one too. Selfishly, he selfishly asked for everything to turn to gold. All right, you guys got it from here. Any questions about what you're doing this week for homework? Weston's like, no, I'm hungry. Let's go have lunch. I'm hungry too. All
I'm
right, guys.
hungry too.
I
Like
am too.
last
Let's go.
time. Wait. I'm
What?
hungry too, but like a couple weeks ago, I put in your chat, hey, Miss Cisneros, can we eat food inside of class?
I didn't see that note. I'm gonna have to say no for that because it's a little distracting. So you're gonna have to hang in there and wait till class is over.
Okay.
Go have lunch, and I'll see you guys next week.